And we're back talking with Doyle, with State Representative Doyle Heffley. As always, we're joined by the indomitable Hunter Kipe and the disembodied voice of producer Chuck. What are we talking about today?
Well, we've talked about it several times, and everybody is struggling with it. Energy.
Yeah.
And it's becoming quite the issue, the rising cost of energy. And the governor, our illustrious governor, while he was tripping over himself on his way to take credit for something, at a press conference, he decided to come up with his new plan. So, and I guess it's called the Lightning Plan. And if it sounds somewhat familiar, obviously you go back to Ben Franklin. He discovered electricity in Pennsylvania, and we're coming up on the 250th anniversary of our country. Ben Franklin, a founding father, was flying a kite with a key on it and discovered electricity. I think the governor's plan, if enacted, we're all going to be flying kites with a key on it to try to turn our lights on in our house, because this thing is atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean, you take Reggie, which the governor has not given up on, by the way. I mean, he still is suing the state of Pennsylvania to enact a $2.5 billion tax increase on anybody that uses electricity. This is, your senior citizens on fixed incomes, everybody. And then he came out with his plan last year, which didn't even get a vote in the democratically controlled state house, PACER, which was just Reggie. But
with a different name.
With a different name. And now he's coming up with a Lightning Plan, which in Lightning he has PACER. And his plan is, and just think about this for a minute, and we can get into, green energy, so all the different forms of energy and why the need is for energy, and everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
You want to have grid reliability. So if you want to attract investments in manufacturing, also your hospitals that are running equipment, and everybody's using more electricity now more than ever because we all got a cell phone, we all got a laptop, we all got earbuds, we all got Ring doorbells, the things that were plugged in and charging all the time that never were before. So the governor's plan is to tax all that electricity that you use, whether you're on a fixed income or whether you're a billionaire, you're going to pay a tax.
So everyone is going to pay a tax on energy.
Everybody's going to pay a tax on energy. And then he's going to say, well, we're going to make it more affordable because we're going to take 70% of that tax and we're going to give it back in the form of rebates on energy. So really, think about that. We're going to tax you, and then we're going to give 70% of that money back to you so you can have a rebate on your energy. Well, how about you just don't put the tax in the beginning, and then we don't need 70% back?
What's even the point of it, though?
So then he's going to take 30% of that, and he's going to use it to support energy efficiency projects, and there you have it, right? He's going to subsidize solar panels that are made in China. He's going to put up windmills in areas, and they don't produce the electricity that's needed for a sustainable grid. Not that we're opposed to any of that, but I would say that if the private sector isn't investing in it for a reason, because it's not efficient, it doesn't invest. Like if we could go all solar tomorrow, that would be great. But the technology isn't there. The infrastructure isn't there for it, and it's not going to produce enough. And the fact of the matter is, we get people all the time complaining about warehousing, right? Oh, they're building too many warehouses. Although everybody wants their packages delivered on their front porch the next day. But think about the amount of warehouses that you're going to need for the batteries. I mean, you're talking about fields bigger than any warehouses we have of batteries that are going to have to store the power that's generated for the couple hours of a day when the sun's out actually generating electricity, or when the wind's blowing. Because when it's 20 below zero and it's snowing, right? Yeah. And you want to turn on your heat, turn it up a little bit, you're not going to be able to because the power isn't going to be there. So, I mean, this is just more, this is AOC pie in the sky, Green New Deal rhetoric.
Yeah, and why do you think he keeps pushing this, though? Because it's Reggie, it's PACER, now it's a Lightning Plan. Why do you think he keeps pushing this initiative, but just with different names?
Because I think it's what he believes in. I mean, he is right in line, lockstep with AOC. I don't want to hear about that he's a moderate or a conservative or a liberal. His energy policy is right in line with AOC, and that's not what we need. We are an energy producing state.
Yeah.
And I talked about it before. We actually export electricity. It's one of the things that we make in our Commonwealth, and we export, and we bring in revenue to our Commonwealth from the exporting of electricity. We have an abundance of natural gas. We have met all of the federal requirements for carbon emissions because of natural gas. We have it right here in Pennsylvania. It's below our feet. Governor Wolf talked about it, about the energy below our feet could pay for our schools. Well, we can do that because that generates revenue in our communities. And then we still have coal, and we have the cleanest burning coals, and we have the cleanest procedures in place to burn that coal. Right now, we are mining coal and shipping it to China, which has no emission standards, and they're just burning it up, polluting it, and then they're using that coal to make solar panels and then selling it back to us at a premium.
Yeah.
It's not a sound energy policy. And look, I mean, energy is going to change. I mean, I really support hydrogen. I do think that we need to explore hydrogen. Nuclear is something that's out there as well.
Yeah.
But we do have the capacity to do that. Let the free markets, let them make the investments. Let them do this. We can't put that on the backs of the rate-paying customers. And then he had the audacity to sue PJM, which is Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland. They buy all the power that fuels the grid,
Okay.
and they have to maintain a base load in that grid. That's kind of their directive, right? And they build out the grid. And we're seeing a lot of investments in building out the grid, smart grids, and everything else. But he wants to sue them because energy prices are going up, but the energy prices are going up because of bad policies out of Washington, D.C., and now we have a governor who's trying to mimic those same bad policies. So this new lightning plan, look, it was a great press conference. I think there were cheerleaders there. It was crazy. But at the end of the day, know that if that is enacted, your grandmother's electricity bill is going to go up. Your property taxes are not going to go down, right? And we're not gonna be funding our schools. The schools are gonna pay more to keep the lights on or turn the air conditioner on and everything else. It's just a bad policy. We have energy here. Let's let the free market, produce that energy. And as far as air quality and water quality, look, we all drink the water. The standards are there. Like we know, and so we're gonna make sure that the DEP, the water standards, the air quality standards, all these emissions are all monitored 24/7 at the stack. So we can do this. We have the technology to do it. We need to unleash our free market instead of more government control over our electric